Even if you're a single guy like I was, I guess it wasn't a bad deal. Because he could talk him into anything he wanted him to do, regardless. And if you couldn't talk your way into getting a date, boy, he could talk his way into you getting a date. So everywhere we went, a lot of partying and drinking. And then he had a couple girls that their parents were really rich. And they lived up in Lake Tahoe, so they had all kind of money. And we go up to their cabins, and hey, this isn't a cabin like, any of them Alaska shows, okay? These are nice, big, 4-bedroom cabins with big decks on them. And anyway, these girls had a lot of money, so the next thing I was into was cocaine. They always had a lot of cocaine. We'd be up at these places partying and all kind of girls around, or we'd go out to town to Lake Tahoe to the casinos. I like the waitresses there, so we'd pick up these waitresses. If I couldn't get them to come over, he could. And they were just big parties we were having. And no holds barred. You know what I mean? Girls and, a few guys walking around the house naked. I mean, just doing whatever you want to do. A lot of cocaine. And, wow, it was good for a while. I mean, but sometimes you'd say, hey, what day is it? It'd be 3-4 days later, and you didn't even know it. So we'd be partying and neglecting our duties as, our carpet cleaning business. People started to fall off, all his customers, And of course, who got the blame? The manager. So, hey, why are you doing this and you're not doing that? But always asked to sit there and party. So it wasn't like that at first. It started happening more and more. And so one day he just fired me, and there I was, all by myself. And I'm not saying I didn't take part in any of it, because I always did. And believe me, growing up as a kid, I always felt less than. And again, here I am feeling less than. And I think that's a lot of my addiction was that I felt less than. Anyway, so he kicked me out, and I didn't have a place to go. And I bumped into another guy who was in a motorcycle club that was in that area. And they were a pretty big club. They were in that area, and he invited me to move in with him. And the next thing you know, I'm doing is I'm selling weed, hash, downers, up, a little bit of cocaine, whatever came by their way. I was out there on the street selling for him. And his girlfriend was a prostitute at one of the local brothels, which was in Mustang. And if you know anything about Nevada, brothels aren't legal in like Las Vegas, Reno, Sparks, places like that. They're always on an outskirt of a big town where, some guy owns his own county. You know what I mean? And yeah, it was a Mustang Ranch. And so I got to meet the guy that was the owner of it, and we'll just keep his name out of it. And, I started running for the girls. He had a runner. That's the guy that goes in, and how it works is the girls would stay there 3 weeks at a time, and they'd be out for a week. Well, they needed people to do their running for them during the week, like pay their bills, their mortgage, whatever they had going, pay their rent. And this runner guy would go out and he'd take care of all of them and pay all their stuff and go shopping for them. Well, when he had an overflow, I would do that. Or when he was gone, I was able to take his job over for when he was off. And it was really good money. I mean, a runner would make $500-600 a day, sometimes even $1,000. And Joe, well, I shouldn't have said his name, but I did. The guy that owned the brothel, he liked me, and he would give me these chits, and then sign them and put the amount on the chit that he was going to give me. That some of them were $20, $25, $30, whatever. I did for him. He'd give me these chits, and I could save them up, and I would buy this guy I was telling you about, his girlfriend, out of the brothel for 2-3 days sometimes. And they could also, I could use them for any of the girls I wanted in there. And this girl that I got close with, my friend that was a biker, his girlfriend, her name was Carol, by the way. And Carol would introduce me to this other girl. We'll call her B. And B and I, we got together. She rented the house, and she paid all the bills. And I'd go get her dope, and I'd get all the other girls dope. I'd bring them their cocaine, their marijuana, whatever they needed. And I was starting to do that a lot and making good money doing it. Well, there was two houses. There was a new house and an old house. Well, B worked in the old house, and so I was spending a lot of time in the new house. And what prostitutes don't like you to do is spend time with any other